So this is what I would like you to do today. We're going to use Photoshop to blur 2 photos from my shared drive and then 2 photos you pick from the internet. So in order to do that, the ones on my shared drive, shared students, Hartman, links and videos, photography, class photos, blur. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures in there that you can blur. I would like you to pick any 2 that you want. When you pick them, you're going to copy them, not put them in here copied, copy them. You're going to go back to your Hartman photography folder and you're going to paste them in your blur folder, okay? Then you're going to open Photoshop. Remember, when you open Photoshop, it's the first one we're going to use, Adobe Photoshop CS4. When you open it, it's going to take a minute. And remember, when you use Photoshop, it doesn't open a picture automatically. You're going to have to open it. And your tools are over here. Layers are important. This is your toolbar, all of this stuff. So the first one you're going to do, I'm going to show you twice. So pay attention. File. Open. Remember, it's hard to find your stuff because it looks a little different in Photoshop. So you're going to go to Computer, your H drive, Hartman Photography, blur, and then I'm just going to do this elephant one. No, I guess I'll do one that you guys have. I'll do, that one's already been blurred. All of these are already done. I'll have to do the elephant one. So I'm going to open this elephant one. Okay, so this is the elephant one. I'm going to blur everything except for the elephants. So when you do a blur, the first thing you have to do is layer, duplicate layer, and it doesn't matter what you name it as long as you can tell them apart. So this is the one that's the background. I'm not going to touch that. This is the top one I just added. Filter, blur, and then you can pick whichever one you want. You can mess with different ones if you want. Let's try lens blur. Okay, so that you can do all of these stuff. Let's see, you can mess with the radius of the lens blur. This is kind of making it rotation of the lens blur, whatever. So I'm going to pick something. Okay, so now I have, this one is blurred, this one's still clear. If I turn this one off, you can tell. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm on the top layer. I'm going to go to my eraser, and I'm going to get one of these to start erasing it. And I'm going to pick one, let's do 100. So this is kind of blurry around the outside, and I'll do it like this. Okay, I'm going to make it bigger because I'm going to start with it. Oh, that's way too big. That's probably good. No, it might be a little too big. It's up to you how you want to do it. So I am just going to unblur this elephant. And try to let go after you get one part done that you like, because if I totally mess up and I go like, I can just hit Control Z and it'll undo that last thing. But if I like hold this down and do it all, and then all of a sudden I mess up, then it's harder to, I have to go start over. Okay, and then this is getting a little big for, I'm gonna get too much, right? So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna shrink it down a little. So I'll get smaller, and then I can do the legs. If you do too much, start it over, because it looks bad if you do too much. And you get too much green in the background. Okay, so we're gonna do that close. Get the baby's legs. Okay, and then hit the arrow over here. Okay, let's pretend like I'm done. Okay, so you get the idea. When it's time to save this, Photoshop saves different. So you're going to go to File. You're going to go to Save As. Okay, and this is where it gets confusing. You're going to name it your first name, last name, blur, and since you have 2 practice ones, we're going to do practice 1 and practice 2. And then this is super important, so pay attention. Right here where it says Photoshop, you don't want to save it as a Photoshop because that's a giant file and that's not what I want. I want you to save it as a JPEG. You can save it as a PNG if you want, but I'm just going to do JPEG. So first name, last name, blur, practice 1, and make sure you change the format to a JPEG because I don't want your Photoshop file. I want your JPEG. I just want the picture. You don't have to mess with any of that, and you're going to hit save. You're going to hit OK, and then that should save it in the folder you got it out of. Okay, and then to start a new one, you can X this one out. We already you don't have to save it like that. File, open a new one. Let's pretend like this flamingo hasn't already been done. Okay, see, he's already been done really badly. Okay, so I would layer, make a new layer, filter, blur that layer, start erasing. When I save it as a JPEG. You're gonna do 2 from my shared drive. You're gonna get 2 from the internet today. So you can save them as your first name, last name, practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, practice 4. 2 are mine, 2 are from the internet. Try to get those done today.